Hello and welcome to Regions and Planes of the Human Body. This is for Anatomy and Physiology 1. After viewing this recording, hopefully you will be able to better identify the different regions, planes, and cavities of the human body and have a better understanding of them. First, we're going to speak about the axial region. The axial region includes the head, neck, and trunk. The head is known as the cephalic region. The neck is referred to as the cervical region, and the trunk is divided into the thoracic and abdominal regions. Subdivisions of the cephalic region include the frontal, which is here, the orbital, which is here, the nasal, that includes the nose, the buccal, which is the cheek, the oral, which is the mouth, and the mental, which includes the chin. The sternal region includes the sternum, which is located right here, the axillary, which is here, the armpit region, and the mammary, which is the breast region. The abdominal region is divided into quadrants. Here we have the right upper, the left upper, the right lower, and the left lower. These are referring to the region's location in the anatomical terms. The anatomical body position is where the body is erect, palms facing forward, and feet slightly apart. That's how the different regions and locations on the body are going to be described from here on out. The quadrants we just discussed are going to be divided into smaller regions, which you have the right hypochondriac, the epigastric, the left hypochondriac, the right lumbar, the umbilical, the left lumbar, the right iliac, the hypogastric, and the left iliac. The cervical region does not have subdivisions like the cephalic and thoracic. Appendicular regions are going to be the next region we discuss. Those are going to be the arms, the legs, the feet, the hands. You're also going to need to know these directional terms. Superior, which is above, so you would say the head is superior to the abdomen. Inferior, which is below, so the abdomen is inferior to the head. Posterior, which refers to the rear. You would say the olecranon is posterior to the antecubital. Anterior is reversed, is the front of, in front of, so you would say the antecubital is anterior to the olecranon. Proximal is closer to the trunk, so you would say the olecranon is proximal the digits or the digital. And then distal, you would say the digitals are distal the antecubital. Next, we're going to discuss the upper limb. It's divided into 6 regions. First, you have the acromial, which is here, the point of the shoulder. Then you have this large area here, which is called the brachial. The antecubital, which is the anterior portion of the elbow. The antebrachial, which is your forearm. And the carpal, which is the wrist. The manus, or the hand, has 3 divisions: the palmar, which is the palm of your hand, the digital, which are these 4 fingers, and then the pollex. Remember that pollex and palmar start with the letter P, so it'll be easier to remember the difference between the pollex and the hallux, which is the great toe. Your lower limb has the coxal region, which is here, which is your hips, the femoral region, which is your thigh, the patellar region, which is the anterior part of the knee, the popliteal region, which is the posterior part of the knee, the crural, which is the anterior part of the lower leg, the sural, which is the posterior part of the lower leg, and the fibular, which is going to be the lateral or outside of the lower leg. The pedal or the foot region has your tarsal, which is here, the ankle area, the calcaneal, which is the heel of the foot right here, the plantar, which is the sole of the foot, the digital, which are the four toes, which are kind of hard to be seen in this picture, and the hallux, which is your great toe. Remember, pollex is for your thumb, which attaches to the palm, and hallux is the foot. Next, we're going to discuss the body planes. You have mid-sagittal, frontal, and transverse. These are the three different types of planes the body can be divided into. This picture here shows a brain divided into a mid-sagittal plane, which runs longitudinally across the section of the body we're dividing, and divides it into two equal halves. The next is the frontal plane, which divides into an anterior and posterior portion. And then you have the transverse plane, which divides the body into a superior and inferior portion. Our next subject is going to be body cavities. The body is divided into two main cavities, which is the dorsal and the ventral. The dorsal body cavity includes the cranial cavity, which has the brain, and the vertebral cavity, which contains the spinal cord. The ventral body cavity contains the thoracic and the abdominopelvic cavity, each which are subdivided into smaller cavities. The thoracic cavity includes the pleural cavity, which houses the lungs, the mediastinum cavity, which houses the thymus and parts of the heart, and the pericardial cavity, which houses the heart. The abdominal cavity contains your digestive organs, and the thoracic and abdominal cavity are separated by your diaphragm, which keeps the organs separated in their correct cavities. The last cavity we're going to talk about is the pelvic cavity. This contains your urinary bladder, the reproductive organs, and your rectum.